Welcome to the EmpowerMom podcast, the
Mhm.
podcast where we have real and honest conversations about the messy, daunting, yet beautiful and empowering journey of motherhood. Today, we'll be tackling a common topic that I feel most mothers can relate to: redefining success, finding joy, balance, and sustainable strategies. Through this episode, we will focus on empowering working moms to redefine success on their own terms, prioritize well being, and discover sustainable strategies for long term fulfillment.
Exactly. And today we have an amazing guest in our presence. She's Coach Aifa Ahmed, a community well-being facilitator, mindfulness teacher, and an aqua fitness trainer, as well as a freelance trainer and facilitator since 2004. She also runs two businesses and a support group as well. And she helps others to discover the best version of themselves through self-awareness towards finding their definition of happiness. She's been married for 15 years and is a mother of two, her eldest being 14 and her daughter being 8 years old. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast once again.
Thank you so much, Atelia and Melissa, for having me.
So let's just begin. Let's start with, I don't know if it's how do I say, a very simple question for you to immediately answer, but let's see how it goes.
Hmm.
So we know that generally we have this traditional view of success, right?
Hmm.
And it's often tied to, your career. Maybe if you're in a corporate world, maybe the corporate ladder, and then at the same time trying to have a perfect home life. Can you share a story about a time that you've let go of a particular goal or expectation of yourself that no longer served you? And what does it feel like?
Hmm. Wow, this is a very interesting question because I was just reflecting my journey.
Right.
Yeah, my journey, and when this opportunity came up, I'm like, wow, it's such so timely. And I find that for myself, I think it has been a journey, and I started being a mother since I was like in 2010, right? When I had my firstborn. So I did mention, I think I told you did mention I had two kids. I have two kids. One son is 14 now, and my daughter is 8. And I remembered myself like really telling myself, what do I really want in my life? Um, and and I think as a lot of mothers lah, new mothers, right, we're thinking, do we want to sacrifice family, or are we going to go into our career, right? Because that was at that point of time I got married when I was 24. And I got pregnant when I was 25. Yeah, so that's also the stage where in a way still finding what I want to do in my life. But I think that point of time where I told my family and I did ask myself lah, and there was the expectation that I was thinking about what career I want to have, and I remembered being able to explore the well-being space. And there was that time, June 2019, between the period of June 2019 to July 2024, pandemic, that area,
Mhm.
I got the opportunity to become a country director for Center for Mindfulness Singapore.
Mhm.
Yeah, so my role back then is to really focus on building, really bringing mindfulness programs into probably like organizations, especially in Malaysia. So it's really building and bringing that. So having that role was a very big expectation for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that very daunting. Have to meet a lot of people who very high positions in that being in that role, and being a female who's a leader. Having that pose is not easy.
Not
Yeah,
easy.
because you are really going into new territory, where I'm going into a country which is very new to me. um I have to relearn the culture, knowing even being better in speaking Malay, because when we talk about like going to a new country, I mean, in Singapore we're so used to speaking English, right? So I think all those experiences, it started to be a bit more quite overwhelming for me. Yeah,
Mhm.
that period it was pandemic, and it wasn't easy trying to juggle my two children who are still a bit young, because I remember my daughter was only 3 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, she was only 3 years old when I started that role.
wow.
Yeah. So that was also that challenge in terms of how do I juggle that aspect lah. So when about July 2024, that was where I decided to let go of the role. Yeah, and that's how I felt very relieved.
True.
Very, very relieved, because I didn't have to put in that position of having to put that persona just to be able to get the clients and the income, even
Mm,
though um, it was a point where the recognition is there, right?
mhm,
You're being recognized, you're being in a way that the people see you as a certain caliber, that credibility that you have and stuff like that.
mhm,
But I never regretted that journey
mhm.
because even though it was challenging at times, but the experience allowed me to further clarify, find clarity in terms of what I really want in my life.
Oh, okay.
So somehow that challenge allowed me to see those things. Yeah, to see those things. And I felt that, oh, probably letting go of that role makes me become a better mother.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you
So,
so
so in a way, it's
much.
a very interesting, I
Yeah.
would say awakening for me lah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Thank
Go
you so
ahead.
much for that. First, let's talk about delegation. Do you ever
Mm.
delegate tasks to your partner or family? And is there any tips you could share to working mothers who struggle with delegating tasks to their partners, family, or even colleagues?
Yes, definitely. I
Mm.
mean, becoming a mom, you have to learn how to delegate. That is very crucial, especially because one thing that I realized, sometimes we tend to forget to ask for help.
Mm,
Yeah, like we want to do everything ourselves, right? Because if we ask for help, it's like, alamak, you are weak. You feel that you're very weak.
mm,
But one of the things that I learned to be able to seek that support. Yeah, and that has helped me, especially in what I need to do. Yeah,
Mm.
because when one of the things that I believe a lot is in creating a community. And
Mm.
I believe a lot in that aspect of legacy, where I do not just want to stay at home, but I also want to do more things for the community. So a lot of the things that I need to do requires the support system to be there. And I'm very thankful that I have my parents, especially my dad. Yeah. Sometimes I do, in a way, seek support from him because he is now, in a way, retired. Having fun going bowling. He goes bowling like almost every day. So he plays for the senior league, and we actually have a family vehicle. And he will sometimes send my daughter especially lah to school and fetch her, because I do have a baby nephew as well. So sometimes my dad will fetch her and send her back when I'm not able to.
mm,
Yeah, so that was one particular support that I really appreciated because when my son was younger, a lot of times I had to do a lot of things by myself.
mhm,
Yeah, because looking back, how my firstborn and my daughter, their journey in terms of me caring for them is very different. Um, and I think if I didn't have that support with my family,
mhm.
it won't be very easy lah. Yeah, and I also appreciated my two kids now were bigger, they're much bigger. So a
Mhm.
lot of the household chores, right?
Be
I would
delegated
get
to them.
them. Yes, correct. So I think it's really about getting them to be responsible of their own homes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So my boy appreciates cleaning the toilet sometimes.
Uh-huh.
My daughter also, she loves to like just scrub, enjoy the water because they love water. They're just like me. We love water very much.
Oh,
So they
that's so
enjoy cleaning the sides lah, the toilet bowls. Yeah. Then my son can cook as well. So he
hmm.
will make like some simple dishes for the family. Yeah. So just giving him. So I told him, okay, let's probably go for groceries together. Let's see what you want to make for the family. Then probably you want to cook something. Yeah. So certain days he will try to experiment the kitchen. So I won't be there. So I would not disturb him. Let him try and experiment by himself. Yeah. So I think allowing them these opportunities to just and delegate this is not about like child labor or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
You
it's
don't
really
get that wrong here.
it's about really
Not child labor.
delegating tasks for them because anyway it's this is their home
Yeah.
and they also see that we are responsible as a family to keep the home nice and because we're living in it, right? So we have to, and I think those values are very important. Yeah, and one thing that I really practice a lot with my family also is about offers and requests.
Mhm.
Yeah, so when we want to request some help, like probably a support, right? Yeah, probably we will learn to like butter trade something else. Oh, why not? Are you able to help me with this?
Mhm.
Why not later on I will help. I will probably wash the dishes.
Mm.
Yeah. So in a way, we barter trade
Mm.
um so-called things that we request that support, right? Then you'll be like, okay, Ibu, let's do that. Yeah. So that allows that kind of negotiation to happen or even conversations to happen. Yeah,
Mm.
it should. For me lah.
Okay, okay. Okay, so then probably our next question would be,
Mm,
you know, if you obviously, as a working mother, you have such a busy schedule every week. Maybe I think for you, even Saturdays and Sundays are also pretty busy
yes.
for you. Yeah, so
Really
it's
busy.
crazy, right? So during that struggle in the sense of, like the busyness, and then of course your mind will be haywire all over the place. Do you ever find time to, celebrate maybe the small moments of joy, maybe within your workplace or maybe at your home?
Yes, I believe a lot in that. Yeah, really having those small little joys
Mhm.
to be able to, breathe.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
same time, to appreciate that we're still breathing and still able to function, right, despite our busy schedule. So
Mm.
for me, I think one of the things that I like to do is, and also my daughter requested lah,
Mhm.
I love to give her hugs every day.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sweet.
So to her, it's like, like energizer battery, right? Like how we use a phone and then we need to charge. So to
Right.
her,
Yeah.
it's like, Mommy, Ibu, I don't need anything. I just want you to hug me 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because to her, it's like, I just need to hug you, right? As
Mm-hmm.
long as I want, then when I let go, I'm ready to do what I need to do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we wouldn't know what they go through in school, right? And also, they are out almost the whole day where they don't see us. They only see us like my daughter is in student care. She only sees me and when she comes back at about 5-ish.
Uh-huh.
Latest about 6:30. Yeah,
Mm.
so that's the time where they're almost in school all day, all day. And my
Mm.
son as well. But my son don't really do hugs lah. But he prefers if I were to cook his like special dish, or once in a while we will so-called celebrate by with them being able to behave or do their homework, that kind. So we will tell them, okay, today I'm gonna probably let's Ibu going to belanja bubble tea. Yeah,
Mm.
so very simple treats just for them to like take it as a accomplishment for
Mm.
that small time that we have together. Yeah. Sometimes I will just like, for me, myself, when I'm alone, I
Mm.
love to have my teh tarik. I would just go to this shop that I like it's at North Point lah. So even though it's just Teh Tarik Express, right? But I just sit there alone, just enjoying the tea, no gadgets, just appreciating the aroma, the smell.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and really enjoy that moment lah before I go for my busy schedule. So I
Mm.
think really appreciating these small things, right? It helps me to keep going,
Mm.
right? Just to uplift the mood, then keep going. Yeah, because that itself is because it's like a battle, right? How do we and sometimes when we go work or we meet like clients who can be very difficult, that kind of thing,
Mm.
or maybe a meeting that's like makes you sad because of certain conversations that happen. You never know expectations, right? Yeah, I think it's about really being able to bounce back and recover
Mhm.
before you go for your next task. Yeah,
Mhm.
so I think finding things to uplift your mood really is very, very crucial lah. And to also enjoy these small things, these small joys, whether you are alone or with family. Yeah, that's why I see that's very crucial lah. Thanks for asking that. I love that question though.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we could answer it for you, or like not answer, like question, give that question to you, so that we can let other mothers know,
Mm.
about that there are a lot of more things than in life than probably just work, and maybe try to relax your mind in small ways. Yeah, you want to take it away, Melissa?
Yeah, so actually that ties really nicely with our next question, which was regarding like we find that mothers need to indulge in or just take time for self-care from time to time.
Mm.
Then our question was actually, were you able to find time for yourself? But as you
Mm.
mentioned, you
Mm.
spend a bit of time having solo teh tarik sessions.
Yes.
So perhaps you can share more about that also. Or like,
Mm.
are there any other things that mothers can do to do a bit of self-care for themselves?
Mm.
Especially if in the busy schedule, right?
Yes, that's right. But let me just probably share an experience when my kids were younger.
Mm.
So when my kids were younger, right, I didn't have a lot of time for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that opportunity only came now because they're a bit more independent and either they're in school more often, right? But when they were younger, it was very hard for me. Yeah, even I remember going to the gym, this ladies' gym lah at it's Pontus Express at Yishun. So I just wanted to sweat it out and have a workout. Yeah,
Mhm.
because sometimes like doing it at home, it's possible, but I just wanted to be out and probably explore the equipments there. I had to bring my daughter. So I
Mm.
remember bringing her along, going to the gym. So as I'm like working out using the equipments and even the items there, she was like really crawling towards me, that kind of thing. So there was a point of time where I had to carry her and she became my dumbbell. Yeah, I was like, okay, let's do this together, that kind of thing. But she enjoys it lah because we are like carrying her, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So she became my dumbbell.
that's really cute. I love it.
So I didn't want my kids, right, to become excuses for me not being able to do what I want.
Mm.
So I think one of the things that I remembered a mentor that shared with me, like if you start to actually complain or feel that your kids are so-called like blocking you from achieving success. All right, that should not be the mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, it's to really involve them. Yeah, so when they were younger, they could really see how like their mom actually try to bring them, being part of what I need to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's also partly the reason why I chose to do freelance, so that
Mhm.
and again lah, to that flexibility allows me to still manage them at the same time they get to see that their mom is still around with them, even though it's not like 24 hours, right? But they can see that the mom is trying their best to be there for them. Yeah, and they see that how, in fact, all this thing that they see, it's like a learning lesson for them. How they are still able to be with me, that I'm still there, but even though I have to have my meetings, they know that I'm still at home. That kind of thing. Like now, right? So I lock the door. So they know that, okay, this is a so-called boundary. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry, I'm still here. Once
Uh,
I'm ready, I will open the door. So that's where they know, okay. So this is where Ibu is trying to do what she needs to do because it's important. We need to have income for the family at the same time. All right, I don't disturb her. So that it became somehow like they get to see, okay, this is what boundary means. This is what it means by Ibu is still there, not abandoning us for a moment, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So so I think even for myself, when they got a bit older, when they start to be a bit more independent, like now especially, right, I have more time in my hands. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that I could appreciate because back then I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Now it's like because of this opportunity, I start to appreciate the self-care element also because it's very hard to um you know you need to be able to set aside that time. So what I will usually do, I will put it in my calendar.
Mm.
Yeah, because you tend to forget, right? So probably in a week, I need to indicate blocks of time to state, okay, these 2 hours. So like just now, even though I had my meeting, but maybe 1 hour, about half an hour, or probably about 1 hour, there was a walk. So I did a walk, I work out, I sweat it out, right? Before I go for my meeting, for example. Yeah.
Mhm.
So at least that is like coinciding, being able to exercise and also having work to do after that. Yeah, so I think really incorporating it into my schedule is something that I appreciate lah. Yeah, and also like for myself, other than that, I also love swims. I love to go for swimming because I'm eco trainer, right? And there are moments sometimes when you do teaching, you don't really work out yourself. Yeah, so usually what I will do is I will have my own solo swims on my own. I take up like membership, for example, like Home Team NS, just to go in so that I can explore the free venues there. Yeah, to really make use of those resources that you have. So like Active SG, they got free, they got all these credits, right? And really making time. Because if I don't put it in the calendar, I will not do it. Yeah. So that itself is important lah. Not to just give everything to the family, but you also need to think about yourself. How do you want to so-called like be active enough so that at least you can move, you can still do what you need to do, all right, and you don't feel so sluggish. Yeah. especially
When you
for
were
mothers.
talking
Mm.
about the fact
Mm.
that like in the past, like when your kids was younger, you weren't able to find time for yourself as much as you're able to do today.
Yes, that's right.
It actually it kind of relates me back to my own mother. My
Mm.
mom is not a working mom, but I already know that having a child, and for my mom, she has two children.
Yes.
It takes a huge village to do so, right?
Mm.
So
For
and she always told me that she did struggle a lot taking care of me and my sister. We only have like a 2 year age gap, so it's
mm.
even worse. So
Mm.
so I'm just like listening to your story and realize, okay, this is actually really a universal issue amongst mothers, if
Yes,
you
that's right.
agree.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, to see that these mothers, they are like, I don't know if it's wrong to say they are superwoman or anything like that, but because I know some people might not take it as a good way, some people might take it as a good way, but I feel like, mothers in general have a different gene when it comes to dealing with all this. They have that multitasking capability, and we see
Mm.
that in women. It's really incredible whenever I see that. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that. So probably our next question would probably be a bit more reflective one.
Mm.
Maybe, what do you think, what success and empowerment really means to you as a woman and as a mother, in terms of you as a mother, as well as you being a working woman in society? How
Mm.
do you find that, like, in your daily life?
Wow. This is actually my what I do in my work.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. So it's like so I actually help others to define what success and happiness means to them.
Mm,
Yeah. And now being asked back this, I'm like, whoa, reflecting on myself. Yeah. So I think my whole life has always been finding that happiness, success, and inner peace.
mm,
Yeah. It's always a constant struggle.
mm,
Definitely. So because going through what I went through, and making those very big decisions, I remember even my own family back then, they couldn't accept what I'm doing because it's an unconventional method. I'm not the typical 9 to 5 hour job,
mm,
admin, or yeah. So I totally let go of that, because I did do full time for 2 years before. I was a program consultant before. And I think when I had my firstborn, I remembered having very bad motion sickness. I was vomiting like crazy. So my boss was like, okay, probably it's time that I let you go. But I was still freelancing lah, because I've always been a freelance trainer for all my life lah. So that's why. Yeah, and I think being able to make those decisions and allowing those opportunities to happen in my life, and during those crucial moments, because there are also moments where I didn't want to burden my family.
yeah.
Um, and because of that, they themselves are quite concerned because one, it's about income.
Mhm,
How do I survive? But thankfully, because my husband himself he's a civil servant, yeah,
mm,
so he's pretty much quite stable lah in terms of supporting us and all that. But again, his schedule also wasn't easy, so he's on standby 24 hours, that kind of thing. So it's very hard to sometimes support, but he tries his best lah to be there when they were younger and all that. So for me, after coming to almost 20 years of being in the freelance as a freelancer and doing my own business, right? It's really to be okay, one, success to me is flexibility, and to be able to live my life in my own terms. And
mhm,
also, to me, is making time for family emergencies, and finding meaning in what I do and my sense of purpose. Yeah, because I think, between all my family members, I am more flexible in terms of timing. So any emergency that I could actually be there to support. When I've calls, if my kid gets sick, that kind of thing. Because sometimes, um, if I'm a working mother, working like 9 to 5, for example, it's very hard to get like sudden leave or off, right?
Yep.
yeah.
You need to actually inform the management. So I do hear those struggles from my friends who are working in that. Yeah. So for me, I'm very thankful because of these opportunities that I got. Anytime I could just like, and I'm also very grateful for great partners as well.
Mhm,
And even my Center for Community Wellbeing co-founder, yeah, she's always there to back me up. So when I tell her, Mitch, her name is Michelle Au. So Mitch, my daughter fever lah. Then she knows. She won't touch me for 3 days.
that's nice. Yeah.
So I'll be like, okay, can help me, cover me, yeah. Or I will tell them, okay, don't worry, after 3 days, then I'll come back. Let's see how I can support you. So that understanding is there because she knows that these are my non-negotiables. Family is my non-negotiables. Yeah, anybody down, I will be there,
Mm-hmm.
and work matters has to put aside because I think family is one thing that keeps me going lah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because that itself is because what I hope to achieve also it's creating that culture, creating that support system, ecosystem, and like you mentioned, right, and Atulia, it takes a village,
Yes.
it takes a community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think being able to do that for myself and not putting it in action to support other women, that's also partly why I started the support group. Um, and that itself is really amazing lah, how I managed to pull through that the many years that I've experienced that myself. Yeah, and I think when you mentioned about empowerment,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and also my self-worth, because back then when I was still a new mother, there was just too many noise, too many people giving a lot of advice.
Advice.
Please do that, do this, why not you do this, that kind of thing. But then I think you need to be able to learn to filter information
Mm-hmm.
and really look inside you to say, will this work for me? Will
Mm-hmm.
this advice work for me? Will this advice work for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've even been told that I'm not a good mother, for example.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, because of running my own things, or probably moments where I have to depend on my parents probably to care for them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you talk about beliefs and culture, especially in the Islamic and the Malay
Mm-hmm.
society system, right? Where sometimes some people say that, oh, maybe as a Muslim, you're not supposed to burden your parents, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So there were all these stigma around that I had to fight off. There
Yeah.
were moments that I cried. There were moments that um, like I had to really learn how to recover back from all those conversations, all those thought processes,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and there were moments that I crumbled as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's the support, the community that I was able to somehow like find the inner circle for myself
Mm-hmm.
really allowed me to recover and bounce back from those negativity until today. So even until today, right, even though there's still a lot of noise and everything, but my recovery is faster. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because experience, right? And now I have more coping skills to be able to cope better. Yeah, I think finding all these coping techniques that will help you, okay, is very crucial as well. So that you know that okay, if somebody says something not nice,
Mm-hmm.
what can you do to bounce back from that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where doing those activities is very important, and also like you need to know your strengths. What am I good at? Yeah. So once I'm able to see these things, I'm like, oh, okay. And that is where I empower my children now to be able to have those skills. Because we wouldn't know how long we will survive, right? As a parent. So that's where empowering them to actually learn these coping techniques, these skills, this knowledge can help them to be independent. Yeah. And also the community. So that's where even for me, empowerment to me also is to guide and facilitate. It also my mom's, my women that I started the support group for, the caregivers and community wellbeing champions. That's within the community that because that's what I do like in terms of my work. Yeah, so we actually have a lot of community wellbeing champions, community leaders, learning how to care better. Yeah, be able to care better, um, and to be better human beings, to be better carers, right? To care
Yeah.
for each other better, and
Mm-hmm.
for them to also learn how to ask for support and request help. I think I mentioned this before, right? When needed. Yeah, because sometimes we just forget that we need help. It's a human being, lah. Yeah, we cannot just depend on solo.
And
Yeah.
if you think about it,
Hmm.
a woman also is a human being. How can they take everything
Hmm.
on themselves? So we need
Right.
to have that support system, and that's really crucial. That's why we also kind of want to do this podcast to let
Hmm.
everyone know that podcast slash interview to let
Right.
everyone know that you that people need to be aware that they
Hmm.
be there for the mothers. That
Hmm.
so yeah. Again, I'm so happy that you're here. Actually, to share your own experiences with us and to the Empower Mom community. So let's just wrap things up
Mm.
with a final question. Maybe you can give us an advice to all the mothers out there, with based on how they can cope up with any struggle or any obstacle that they face throughout their motherhood journey.
Mm. Um, One thing that I noticed, for myself, like even, yeah, what has worked for me, I think really find, I think what you guys mentioned, really to find that one person that you can really be yourself with, because you can really share um anything in terms of like struggles or even that kind of, because that connection with that particular person,
Mhm,
that cheerleader that you have is able to help you through your journey. Actually somebody who is in a way has the experience or even more, all right, so that they can give you advice or support. That's for myself, yeah. Yeah, and I think in terms of individuality is to, again lah, like I mentioned, to be able to find the coping techniques that works for you. Yeah, so even as simple as being grateful for one thing that you're grateful for, right? Or probably even
mhm,
just to anchor back to your breath, just noticing these feelings that you have in the moment, and just to feel those emotions.
mhm,
Because I realize that due to our busyness, right? For me, that we
mhm,
get very busy, we forget to feel those emotions.
mhm.
And because we're very autopilot, wanting to do things
Yeah.
again and again, right? But you will start to notice when you keep pushing through without allowing yourself to pause, to
Uh-huh.
slow down, to feel those emotions, you get burnt out very easily.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where you will start to feel like, why am I so tired? Right?
Mm,
I want to
mm,
give up. I want to let go of everything. I don't think this is working for me. So you start to have all these things, and some people even go numb. Yeah, I remember that point of time where I was in my post partum recovery journey lah. Means I had my second born especially.
mm,
So actually before I had my daughter, I went through a miscarriage. Yeah, so that's why my son and my daughter is 6 years apart, because I
mm,
had a miscarriage. Yeah,
mm,
partly also because of work. I was traveling a lot. So I remembered traveling when I was in my first trimester. Yeah, so that itself cost me, even though the doctor said that it's not your fault, sometimes it's the scientific terms of chromosomes not
mm,
not developing. So I take it as okay, probably because of how my body was back then, and also my situation,
mm.
probably not ready to have a second born.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
so so that moment also I felt that guilt for myself. And
Mm,
that's why I started to go into well-being. Yeah, to
oh,
be able to help me recover. Uh,
uh-huh.
and then I had my rainbow baby lah. Yes, my daughter. And she has been such a blessing lah. And I think as a mother, I think for us, right, you never know sometimes, right, your children knows you in many ways that you never expect. And they can become your so-called the support system that you need. If you
Mhm,
actually noticed, so-called appreciate their presence.
mm,
Yeah, because I remember like when I am down or what, they are the ones that are going to be hugging you, going to give you space,
uh,
just being there with you. So even when I was down, I when I cry or I feel very tired,
mhm.
they would not criticize. They would just come, "Are you okay?" And just sit beside me. Then they will come to hug me, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah. So that itself is like, and sometimes for us as adults, even for parents ourselves, we'll be like, why are we criticizing our kids when they are not doing that to us? In fact, they are the ones that will come to us and give us that space. They're just there. They won't like, even when you cry. No, but parents, we are like the other way. Then when they cry, don't cry lah, and that kind of thing. So
yeah.
I start to see like, why can't we also be like how what they are giving us that space? You see. So and I learned a lot from my kids. Yeah,
Mm,
to actually see these things, and if you are able to reflect and see that I became wiser actually looking at them, learning from them as they are learning from us. So it's a two-way thing as well for me. Yeah, and
mm,
I find that for us, be kind to ourselves, mothers.
yes.
Yes, forgive ourselves more. we always like to help other people, forgive other people, right? But we sometimes forget to actually love ourselves. So that also, um, sometimes we need to remember lah. And if there is a support system or community, learn to check in to each other because you never know that check in can really save somebody's life. Yeah, because those just like hello, I hope you're doing okay. How are you doing? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it applies to even not just moms.
Not
This
just moms. It's so
yeah,
true.
generally.
Yeah.
Human beings. We are people of I mean, we need to have people around us. Yeah.
Yeah. We're social beings for a reason.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
oh my God, thank you so much, Miss Sai, for this conversation. I really am so in awe of the fact you were able to be vulnerable in this platform,
Mm,
sharing your story. Definitely an inspiring conversation for me. I talked to mothers. We had another interview with another mother just yesterday,
mm,
and when we were talking to her, and I was just thinking, there's so much inspiration that you can get from these type of wonderful women out there, and there's so
mm,
many stories that are not told, not said, maybe because they don't have the influence, and
mm.
there's so many other factors involved that it's really hard to describe, even with just a 30-minute conversation. Yeah, so again, thank you so much for being here today. And for the Empower Mom community, there's one takeaway from today, that is success is not a rigid checklist, but a living, breathing definition that changes with you. Whether it's saying no, celebrating small joys, or carving out time just for yourself, you all deserve everything. To every mom listening, may you give yourself grace, joy, and freedom to succeed on your own terms. Once again, Miss Saifa, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.